7.8% up to 12.4%, and the new announcement for the low income. I have all the details and exactly what you need to know right here in the video. Let's get right into it. All right, now in this video, I do want to share with you the details of a new report that was released specifically focused on the low income and what these percentages mean for the low income. Now, this report may actually result in some action because these percentages are getting 100% out of hand, and something needs to be done about this, as this has been a historic increase on these percentages that I'm talking about right here in the video. And again, why I want to bring this to your attention, it is a big deal. Let's get into it and talk through all the details. Really fast before we do, thanks for joining me. If you have not done so yet, make sure to do yourself a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button right down below the video so you don't miss any videos going forward, as there's a lot of things going on right now. And this channel, as well as me, are 100% focused on the low income, fixed income beneficiaries, Social Security, retirement, SSDI, survivors, SSI, VA, RRB, seniors, low income, no income. Again, I am here for you every single day to bring you the latest updates, to do all the research on your behalf, and again, to continue advocating on your behalf as things are changing so rapidly. And again, we all know 2024 is focused on the groups I just mentioned a few seconds ago. I'm here for you every single day, no matter what. Please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. The more people here in this community, the more power and influence we have, especially when we reach out to all these lawmakers with our requests in those letters that we've sent out so many times over the last couple years. All right, thanks again. Please subscribe down below, and let's get into it and talk about these two percentages I mentioned earlier at the beginning of the video, 7.8% and 12.4%, specifically focused on the low income, what they mean, and how this is a historic raise between these two percentages. And I'm going to tell you this much, it is historic not in a good way, which is why I said a minute ago, this may actually require some action, okay? There's some interesting things that are going on right now. All right, so let me break down the details of these percentages, what they mean, why they're focused on the low income, and why this may result in some major action. And also, I want to share with you what I'm seeing in the headlines as of right now, as far as what they may do to bring these percentages down, okay? Let me share with you exactly what these mean. All right, so you've heard before the number of people in the United States living in poverty. It's a huge number, by the way, okay? But let me break this down for you. So last year, there was 7.8% of the population living in poverty, okay? That was last year, 7.8%. However, it has now gone up by 4.6% in just 1 year alone to right now being at 12.4% of the population is living in poverty. That is massive. This is the biggest increase on a year-over-year basis that we've ever seen of people that are low income or fixed income, just the American people living in poverty. We've never, ever in the history of this country seen an increase of 4.6% on a year-over-year basis of people going from not living in poverty to living in poverty. That is huge. Now, again, why is this such a big deal? It's a big deal because what is the goal of the administration? What is the goal of lawmakers? They say it all the time. Eradicate poverty in the United States. I'm sorry, guys, you're going the wrong way, okay? I think we can all probably agree here. They are going the wrong way. Going from 7.8% to 12.4%, increasing by 4.6% in one single year, I'm sorry, that is the wrong way, right? Now, what can we do about this? Now, here's one thing that I find very interesting. So, let me step back a few years now. What happened a couple years ago in early 2020, late 2020, and early 2021, and the second half of 2021. Let me share with you what happened. You know exactly what happened, but let me just throw it out there really quickly because this was a huge catalyst to bring the poverty numbers way down. And then I'm going to get into talking about what I saw, or what I've seen in the headlines as of recently, as far as what they want to bring back and what this may actually result in for you, okay? All right, so let me buzz through this really quickly. Early 2020, late 2020, early 2021. What happened? Stimulus checks. We all know that. We got 3 stimulus checks, $1,200, $600, and then $1,400, okay? That is what happened. Stimulus checks alone lifted millions upon millions of people out of poverty. Why? It increased their income for the respective years. Well, if your income has been bumped up and you're now above the federal poverty line, guess what happens? You're no longer in poverty for that respective period of time. Okay, sounds pretty simple to me, right? Give everybody a check and boom, you just lifted people out of poverty. Yeah, exactly. They know this. It's super easy to do, right? Next, what happened in the second half of 2021 and then again in early 2022? I'll tell you this much. As a result of the American Rescue Plan that passed in early 2021, in fact, it was in early March 11th, 2021 is when it passed and was signed into law by the president. This one also had within it a $1,400 stimulus check, but it also had advanced payments of the child tax credit payments, okay? Those started in July of 2021. Every single month, the average household got a check of $422. 38 million households got a check of $422 every single month for 6 months. Then in early 2022, all of these millions of households who got these payments could also get a lump sum payment when they filed their tax return for 2021 in early 2022, okay? So all of this combined, we saw over that extended period of time. Basically 2020, 2021, we saw all of these people being lifted out of poverty. Millions upon millions of people lifting out of poverty as a result of these payments that were going out. The 3 stimulus checks, the advanced child tax credit payments, and then of course the lump sum payment in early 2022 as a result, again, of the child tax credit payments. But here we are, and now we see that the federal poverty percentage, as in people living in poverty, is again 12.4%. That's a huge percentage, which, by the way, to put it into context, as of right now, there's about 334 million people as the population of the United States, okay? 12.4% of that is, well, I should have ran the math before I started talking, but it's about, I don't know. Honestly, what is that? 40 million people, roughly, give or take a little bit. Again, I'm just kind of roughly adding up in my head right now. So it's about 40 million or so, give or take a little bit of people. That's a lot of people. 40 million people living in poverty, okay? Now, again, what did they do over the last few years here? They sent out checks, stimulus checks, one-off checks, monthly checks, stuff like this, and it lifted millions of people out of poverty. In fact, it resulted in 7.8% of people living in poverty, okay? So as a result of that, 7.8%, or let's just call it 8, what is that, 20, it's about 27 million or so. So my point is, okay, I just roughly added that up in my head right there, but so when the checks and things like that were going out, there were roughly 27 million people living in poverty in the United States, okay? Give or take a little bit, okay? Just call it 27 million. But now that all of these payments and checks and things like that have stopped going out, we've bumped up people living in poverty by 13 million people. And again, I'm kind of rounding the numbers here because I'm literally doing math in my head on the fly here. But we've gone up on people living in poverty in this country by 13 million people. Do you see a little bit of a problem here? Yeah. Do you see a little bit of a solution as far as what they can do to bring the federal poverty line numbers down? Yeah, it's very easy, right? Simply sending out ongoing monthly checks, simply sending out a one-off payment or even a couple payments over an extended period of time will bump people's income up and therefore lift them over the federal poverty line, right? This is not rocket science. I'm not a rocket scientist. I'm not a brain surgeon. I'm not even a doctor. I don't know how to do that, right? But my point is, this does not take a ton of brain power to figure it out what the solution is for this major problem that they've instituted here as a result of their terrible policies, right? Let's just be real, okay? They have the policies in place. Have the policies been serving the American people? Now, again, I'm not going to turn this into a political thing, but let's just look at the real numbers here. The real numbers, the real percentages, the real millions of people struggling right now as a result of living below the federal poverty line, being eaten alive by this inflation, right? We're like being chomped up by an alligator right now, right? The alligator called inflation. This whole thing's been just like eating people up over the last couple of years. And again, because of no fault of our own. They're the ones who printed up all the money. They're the ones who sent it all out. They're the ones who instructed us to spend it. And here we are. We're being punished by all of this inflation because of the policies and things like that, and nothing to do to eradicate it since then, right? I don't know. Interesting situation. But again, I want to come back. Anytime that I see reports like this, I like to share them with you. Why? So we can all clearly see what's going on. Does your local news tell you this stuff? Depends on where you're located. I highly, highly doubt your local news and your, evening news anchors are sitting there saying, wow, we got some new readings today saying that we're now having people living in poverty here in the United States of 12.4%. Highly doubt it. I highly, highly doubt your local news is telling you this stuff, right? That's why I want to bring it to your attention so you can clearly see the numbers out there, because unless you do a lot of research, unless you dig around for this stuff, you're probably not hearing about this. Is this information that is worthy of bringing to the attention of the American people? I think so. That's why I talk about it here, because if nobody talks about it, they sweep it under the rug like they do with everything else, and they act like everything's fine and dandy. We're fine. You know what I mean? We don't need anything. Everybody's doing totally fine, right? No, I can't speak for everybody, but I don't think that's the case. I see the comments down below. I hear the stories. I receive the emails. I read the emails. I see the stories that all of you are telling me. This is not a good situation going on right now, and it has not been for the last few years here. But again, maybe I'm just looking at a small sample size. I don't really think so. If you look around out there, there's a lot of people that are having a really tough time right now. And again, they know exactly what they can do to reverse this trend. And again, unless they do something like this, it's honestly only going to continue to get worse, right? So probably not the best thing that they want on their track record, sitting at, hey, look at what we did. We brought people from living in poverty from 7.8% up to 12.4%. Look at how good we did, guys, right? Is that the reputation they want? I don't think so. But maybe I could be wrong. I don't really think so, though, right? So anyway, I want to bring this to your attention really quickly. And again, I just feel like it's important to bring this to the light so everybody can see what's actually going on here and the real numbers of people. Again, about 40 million people living in poverty in the United States right now. Now, again, let me point this out really quickly. One more thing. The president said this a number of years ago, and I've quoted this many times before. The president said, no older adults or people with disabilities should ever need to live in poverty in America. Guess what? A lot of these people that are living in poverty are falling into that category right there. So, again, good job, everyone, right? Anyway, I'm here for you in any way that I can be, so I like to bring this to your attention. We need to stay paying attention to what's actually going on right now. And again, they know exactly what could happen here. Even just a one-off check of, say, $1,400 would change the lives of these millions of people and lift a lot of them out of poverty. It would not even take that much, and it would be life-changing for the people that are being affected by this in a major way, right? Anyway, I'm here for you. Please, again, make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss any videos going forward. Share this video with your friends, family, social media. There's a share button right down below next to the subscribe button. Also, make sure to go back and check out any of the other thousands of videos here on the channel or those that I have linked down below in the description. A lot of great content there as well. Otherwise, enjoy your day. Take care. Leave your comments, questions, feedback down below. Until next time, enjoy. Have a good one, and catch you again later.